Good morning. Hope everybody else is having a wonderful day because I really am not. Yeah, I woke up really today because I got an email yesterday saying that my account with Amazon was terminated, and they gave me like an email that says notice of termination, blah blah blah. And I read what the termination was about, and I found out that the termination was about an issue that I have been complaining with Amazon about for the last almost 2 years since I've been working with them. So upon doing research, I go on YouTube last night and I type in the same thing that I got terminated for, and I see all these different Amazon drivers for Amazon Flex in all different countries: the UK, Texas, Seattle, like New York, pretty much everywhere, and they're all having the same exact problem that I'm having, and all these people are getting terminated as well. And I'm gonna get into telling you what the problem is about. So basically, when Amazon first started, they offered blocks, and blocks are the first ones that they offered where I'm from in Rockville were 4 hour blocks, and those 4 hour blocks, you would get paid $72 for those 4 hour blocks, and it was good. You worked. You might get off early. Like sometimes I did get off in like an hour. Sometimes I got off in like 3.5 hours. Sometimes I almost worked 4 hours, and I was cool with that. I got paid $72. So then after a while, they started giving us um, way too many packages where we would work almost 5 hours. A lot of people complained. I complained. And at first, some of the logistics managers would basically use discretion. They'd be like, "Oh, put it in your GPS. If you can show me where those things are going to take you a very long time, I'll take them off." And they did that, and I was cool with that. And they were saying that they were new, they would get things fixed, and that after a while, everything would like work itself out. The computer would build an algorithm, and everybody would be able to deliver things on time. And they were basically trying to build the algorithm of to know like how many packages we can actually give people to these certain locations, and they'd be able to finish in that time period. So time goes on, and then they send us out an email. They also do a bunch of updates on the app between that time, which are other issues that I'm not going to talk about right now. But what happened is they lowered our pay rate to $54, but they also lowered the block time to 3 hours. So you get paid 3 hours for a 54-hour block. But then they still had other blocks. They have a $63 block, which is for 3.5 hours. And they still have the 4 hour block, which is $72. And they also have some blocks that they just make up like a weird number, like 2 hours or 2.5 hours, $46, and so on. So, but the main block that they always have almost available are the 54-hour blocks for 3 hours. So, what I have been showing that they have been doing is they'll give you packages and they'll consistently make you work 3.5 hours, which they have a 3.5 hour block, which they could pay you $63. So literally, they're shorting you almost $10 every single time you deliver if they make you work 3.5 hours. So I thought it was just me. I would email in, I would try to talk to logistics people. They were completely rude. Some of them weren't, but 9 times out of 10 they were completely rude, and they would basically tell me that you need to try to try to finish these blocks in the time period um that you have, or you can actually bring the packages back and you don't finish. Now, I was kind of skeptical of that in the first place, because then I've done that and I've gotten emails that say you didn't complete all your orders, you didn't complete all your deliveries. If this keeps happening consistently, there is going to be a problem. So I told them this, and they assured me that I would not be held accountable if I brought them back. They were just trying to build an algorithm, and I would not get in trouble. So time goes on, and it recently has gotten super bad to where I would almost work 4 hours for a 54-hour shift, and then one day I signed up for a 2-hour shift, and they almost had me work 4 hours. So I would send emails in, like countless, before I would even go on the block to even do it. I would inform somebody that they're trying to give us way too many um, packages to finish in the time period, and I need to really be able to keep record of something like what happened to me does not happen. And everybody assured me that I would not get in trouble for it, that if you deliver over your time period, you're allowed to bring the packages back, and it's no harm, no foul. So that's what I did. Um, Recently, when I've gotten the email, the situation was people not putting their access code. So I would get 20 something packages to go to one building, and nobody on there would put an access code. Then I would call everybody on that I could call from the deliveries. Nobody would answer their phone, and these are the customers. So then I would call support. Support would do the same thing, call all the customers, and to no avail. They do not find anybody to answer the phone or let me know how to access the building. Sometimes I waited outside of buildings for like a half hour or more, and nobody would come out to let me in. And some of these buildings don't have front desks. If there's a front desk, I don't have a problem. But these are situations where there's no front desk. So then I would be left with all these packages that I have to bring back. So in that retrospect, some of these places, it's happened to me 3 and 4 times to where I've let them know, put it in the notes, emailed about that location. They still have not fixed it. So some of the times I would get these packages and let them know, y'all still have not changed anything about this location. Most of the time, unsuccessful delivery. Um, and I'm already having too many packages, and they just don't care. They'll be like, "We'll write you up a ticket," which is kind of like you getting in trouble for it. So now I just got an email to say that I was terminated for that situation. And other situations aren't that, where I couldn't get in access to the building. I had to bring packages back. A lot of the time is I'm not going to work over the 3 hours. So the way that I've done it, and I've always let them know, there's 180 minutes within 3 hours. So if y'all give me 40 packages, and I look and I put them in, and I time them by putting them in the GPS, and it tells me it's going to take me within 5 to 6 minutes per delivery, that's already 200 minutes that I will have to work to finish that block, which is already past my time limit. I'm only supposed to work 180 minutes, so that's 20 minutes past the time. And then they're also not taking in account that it's when they give you 40 packages, it's going to take you at least 15 and a half hour to scan those packages in, and then it's also going to take you time to load your car. And then that's, so I'm going to say 30 minutes in there. Then most of the places are not right around the corner. You're going to have to drive a half of almost 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes to get to the spot. So that's another hour gone. So if that's an hour gone, that's 60 minutes plus 200 minutes. That's 260 minutes that you're expecting me to work, and only paying me for 180 minutes. So if everybody consistently, I've talked to at least 10 to 15 drivers at my location, maybe more, I'm just lowballing it, and they all have had the same problem. They all complain, and they all get the same type of almost intimidation, that if you don't take these or don't try them, you're going to be in trouble for it. Now what they're doing is, they don't want to get in trouble for having too many packages, so they're putting them on us. They know that we can't do it. We're going to bring them back, and then if we scan them into our itinerary, they're on us, not them. So if basically I let them know that there's too many packages, and I don't scan 10 of them, if they don't put out those 10 packages, they get in trouble. But if I scan those 10 packages and I don't finish them and I bring them back, then I'm held in accountable for them, and then I'm in trouble like I am now. And like, it's just not, to me, it's just not fair at all. Because I take my job very seriously. I arrive on time. Mostly I arrive early. I arrive 15 minutes early. And another situation that we have with the same problem is I'll arrive at the location 15 minutes early, and I'll end up waiting almost an hour to even receive my block. And then after I receive my, after I actually get my packages, they're giving me the same route that I would have if they were on time with giving me my packages, which is also completely unethical. If you're late and it takes you an hour to give me, I only have 2 hours to finish. Less than that, because I have to scan the packages and I have to load them up. Which, another thing is, they're never have the stuff like we trained to do. They are training us to come there. They're supposed to have a bag of packages, and you're supposed to be able to scan the bag, and all the packages go into your itinerary, and then you're ready to go, and you can just load your car. But half the time they don't even have it. They have stuff spread all apart that's already too far, and you have to scan each individual package. Then you have to load them up in your car, and you can't just throw them in your car. You have to put them in your car in a very organized manner, so you can know where the packages are when you're getting to each location, because it goes accordingly to where they are in your itinerary. So they consistently just try to make your job hard, and then when you want to speak up about it, they basically chastise you for it and intimidate you into not being able to speak up or taking packages, so in turn you end up getting in trouble. And it's completely, to me, it's just like not fair, and it doesn't make sense from a company that's freaking huge. Like, if you can spend $50 billion in cash to buy Whole Foods, then you can afford to correctly pay me or pay people overtime if you want them to work overtime. And that's the biggest issue with me. It's like, you have time set forth for these, like, to pay us for these blocks. So I don't see why you can't pay us for the blocks when you have time set forth for these blocks. And if you're gonna pay me one day for 3.5 hours for $63, why would you expect me to work another day for 3.5 hours and only pay me $54? And then their excuse is other drivers have been making deliveries faster or more efficient. Well, not all drivers get the same route all the time. Sometimes I go in there, some people get 10 packages and the route's easy. Then you look at another person, they get 70 packages, and they're definitely not going to be able to finish, or they're not going to be able to access all the places. So it's just like completely messed up, and it's wrong. So that is what my rant is about this morning. So I'm looking for an address right now, and I do not see it. I think it's the other way. Actually, I think it is that way. But I'm going to get back on in a little while. Y'all can watch this. I'm going to go back live and talk about this a little bit more. I have a doctor's appointment right now, so I'm going to go handle that. And then I'm going to make another video about it. So I'll check you out in a little while. Peace.